Hello. Hi everyone. Good evening. Can all of you hear me? Okay. What about others? Only two have responded, Prabha and Rezi. What about others? Can all of you hear me? Akshata, Seher, Sanobar, Amar. Rahul, can you hear me? Mohammed Shahbaz, Lakshmi. Okay, fine. So, welcome to IMTS and thank you for coming to the class today. So the topic that we are covering today will be intellectual property rights. Okay. 1 second. Yeah. So the topic that we will be covering today is intellectual property rights. It is a topic which comes under the course business law. Okay, so let's start. Can all of you see the PPT I have shared on the whiteboard? Can all of you see the PPT? Only well, yeah, I mean the welcome screen. Let's see. Okay, so the first question that comes in everyone's mind, what is intellectual property? What do we mean by the term intellectual property? Anyone knows? Copyrights, patents, okay. Anything else? Actually, it is called intellectual property rights. Trademark, goodwill. It is an asset which can't be seen but can be felt. Not correct, Nixon. See, intellectual property rights are, we can say they are the legally recognized rights to the real owners of that thing, of that asset, right? Of the creations of the mind. Right. I give you an example. Like suppose Rahul has made a device whose name is say Samsung. So suppose Rahul is the creator of the mind for the Samsung. So he has the right of so he has the right of that name Samsung, right? So no other person or organization can use that name because he has only because he is the only patented of the legally right person. Right, so that no other persons can or organization can show their rights towards that product. So let's see the basic definition of intellectual property. Okay, like domain registrations. Yes, very good. Correct. There are so many things. copyright of the contents on the website, right? Copyright of the contents in the books, so many things. Because today everything, yeah, logos. Today everything is patented, and so because in today's world there are so much copy and pasting of the things, right? Even the movies, movie stories, right? Like if any producer or director is taking any movie from any book, then he has to first take the first buy or speak to the copyright holder of that story. Then only he can make a movie of that story. Today there are so many things. Anyways, so the basic definition of intellectual property is: intellectual property refers to the creation of the mind, like inventions, literary and artistic works and symbols, names, images and designs used in the commerce. Right, so intellectual property rights make sure that the original creation mind behind that asset will be the real owner of that asset. Okay, now what are the categories of intellectual property? So the first is the industrial property, which includes inventions, that is the patents, trademarks, industrial designs and geographic indications of source. Yes, Prabha, correct. See, in commerce, all the things comes that we are talking next one. Commerce means what? Business. Right, any person will be taking any other asset or considering any other asset only when he is doing business from it or making some money from it. Right, so that comes in, but society well-being. Society well-being. How can you explain, Nixon? I am not getting this point. Society well-being. Society well. We have intellectual property insurance in our company. Okay, that's good. Okay, I think someone has joined. Ashwin has joined. Ashwin, good evening. Can you hear me? Anyways. Second is the copyright, which includes literary and artistic works such as novels, poems and plays, films, musical works, dance, artistic works such as drawings, paintings, photographs, sculptures and architectural designs. Right, so all these comes under the copyright, which is also a category of intellectual property. The first one was industrial property and the second one was copyright. Right, that is why if all of you have noticed at the end of the website, if you open any website, at the end they always mentioned that the contents are copyrighted of XYZ company or XYZ property. It's always mentioned at the end of all the websites, so that no other organization or person can use that content on that website. Similarly, if you see any books, right, it will always be mentioned after the content page, where they mention about the editions. They always mention the copyright thing. It shows that it is the intellectual property of that organization. Clear, everyone? Okay. Next is the nowadays channels use watermark. Yes, that is also a form of copyright. Okay. Rights related to copyright includes those of performing artists in their performances, producers of phonograms in their recordings, and those of broadcasters in their radio and television programs. Right? So all these things are copyrighted. Now, what is exactly copyright? How will you define copyright? Can anyone tell me what is a copyright? Can anyone explain me what is a copyright? All of us have heard this term so many times and viewed it so many times on websites, on televisions. No one? Right of number 1 to copy that already written. Okay. How many of you have seen a symbol like this? A C enclosed with a circle. Right? It is the symbol of copyright. Okay, copyright is a legal right created by the law of a country that grants the creator of an original work exclusive rights to its use and distribution, usually for a limited. Very good, correct. Nixon. Legally recognized, yeah, correct. See, copyright is the legal, legal authorization or the legal proof that the content belongs to the original creator. Right? Let's see its definition. Copyright is a legal term describing the rights given to creators for their literary and artistic works. This is the basic definition of copyright. All these definitions are taken from WIPO. WIPO is an international organization, a worldwide intellectual property organization. We will discuss about it in some time. Okay. Another definition is the statutory privilege extended to creators of work that are fixed in a tangible medium of expression. It was given by Bruwell Hedge in 1995. Okay, now the importance of copyright. Why is copyright important? Can anyone suggest why is it so important? Mohammed Saiful, can you hear me? Good evening. Welcome to IIMTS. To protect from being copied. Very good. If it's not exist, too many frauds will be there. Correct? Good point. Anybody can copy same work or story. Yes, very good. Correct. Yeah, so all of you are correct. That is why it is important. So that the original owner of that work or that asset is recognized and no one can cheat from him. Yeah. So the first importance is respect intellectual rights of creators of the information. Second importance is reward creativity of authors, artists, musicians, etc. Number third, the legal mandate. Number four, model proper behavior for students, teachers, and other members of educational community. So these are the four importance. Now, what is covered exactly by the copyright? How in what all areas is copyright acceptable? Let's see. Number one, literary works such as the novels, the poems, the plays, the reference works, the newspapers, and computer programs, databases, right? Number two, the films, the musical compositions, and choreography. I hope all these terms are clear to you. Choreography, musical compositions. I need not to explain the meaning of these terms. It's very simple English. Okay. Number three, artistic works such as paintings, drawings, photographs, and sculpture or architecture. Number four, advertisement, maps, and technical drawings. So these are the areas in which copyright works. What is not covered by the copyright law? Number one, the ideas. Ideas are not covered. The facts, the recipes, the blank forms, the stock literary devices, works lacking originality, for example, the phone book, names, titles, or short phrases, and the last one, works from the federal government or the central government. Right? So all these things are not copyrighted. Next is the limitations on copyright. So till now everything is clear. Does anyone have any doubts? Okay, fine. Can anyone suggest what could be the limitations of copyright? Okay, let's see. Library and classroom exemptions. Fair use. These are the two limitations. Next is the duration of copyright. Copyright in a literary work lasts for the lifelong. Author's lifetime plus 50 years from the end of the calendar year in which the author dies. 50 years for films and sound recordings. 25 years for the typographical arrangement of a published edition. Right, so for books it is 25 years, for films and sound recordings it is 50 years. Thomas is welfare of the student for knowledge. Yeah, correct. This is the duration. Let's see some more. Moral rights last for as long as copyright and cannot be assigned to an author may waive his or her moral rights by signing an agreement to that effect. Correct? So this is about copyrights. Next is ethics. What do we mean by ethics? Anyone? What do we mean by the term ethics? principles. Yeah. Ethics is a branch of philosophy which seeks to address questions about morality, that is about concepts like good and bad, right and wrong, justice, virtue, etc. Okay. Next is repo that I was telling you sometime earlier. This is important. Repo fund. That is World Intellectual Property Organization. This is its symbol or the logo, and this is its name. World Intellectual Property Organization. What it is? The World Intellectual Property Organization, that is WIPO, is a specialized agency of the United Nations. So it works under UN. I hope all of you are familiar with United Nations and its functionality. It is dedicated to developing a balanced and accessible international intellectual property system which rewards creativity, stimulates innovation, and contributes to economic development while safeguarding the public interest. So it is an international body, right? So it always keeps a balance between accessing the international intellectual property system and also safeguards the public interest. Let's see some of the key features of WIPO. Let's see why WIPO was introduced, why WIPO was installed. See, if you have to deal with the rights and the copyright issues of your same country, then there is a law. But suppose if anyone steals the material, the content or your work from some other country, right? Then whom to contact? Then in that scenario, WIPO plays a role. WIPO is a unanimously international body which looks after such issues. Yeah. Clear, everyone? Okay. Now let's see about WIPO. WIPO was established by the WIPO Convention in 1967. So it was established in 1967 with a mandate from its member states to promote the protection of intellectual property throughout the world through cooperation among states and in collaboration with other international organizations. So this is the history of WIPO. Its headquarters is in Geneva, where the headquarters of United Nations is, because it is a body which works under United Nations. Its Director General is Francis Dewey. This is the name of its Director General. Now, what are the goals of WIPO? Strategic goals. Let's see. Balanced evolution of the international normative framework for intellectual property. Here, IP does not stand for Internet Protocol. So don't get confused, right? Or IP address. It stands for intellectual property, IP. Someone has joined. The Jim Carey has joined. Jim, good evening. Welcome to IIMTS. Can you hear me? Jim Carey, can you hear me? Okay. So the first goal is balanced evolution of the international normative framework for intellectual property. Second, provision of premier global intellectual property services. Number 3, facilitating the use of intellectual property for development. Number 4, coordination and development of global intellectual property infrastructure. So these are the 4 goals of WIPO. And the 5th one is world reference source for intellectual property information and analysis. All the definitions I have taken from this website only, the website of WIPO. If you Google it out, you will find all the basic definitions of WIPO. Okay, 6th objective, international cooperation on building respect for intellectual property, addressing intellectual property in relation to global policy issues, a responsive communication interface between WIPO, its member states and all the stakeholders. So all in all, this organization's role is similar to United Nations, right? So it it coordinates with all the countries on the issues related to intellectual property rights and try to resolve all the countries' issues. An efficient administrative and financial support structure to enable WIPO to deliver its program. Right, so this is about WIPO. Then there is one World Intellectual Property Day, which each year is celebrated on 26th of April. So remember this date. It might be asked in exams. So it started in 2009, World Intellectual Property Day. On World Intellectual Property Day this year, WIPO's focus is on promoting green innovation as the key to a secure future. So WIPO also promotes the Green World agenda. Correction, then I don't know whether this topic is in a course or not. One second, let me check. We have the Copyright Act, Trademark Act, Patent Act. Okay. So till now, is everything clear to you? Now let's come to the Copyright Act, because the topic CLE is not in your curriculum. Now, Copyright Act comes under the section 107, according to which the fair use of a copyrighted work, including such use by reproduction in copies or phone records or by any other means, is specified by that section for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, including multiple copies for classroom use, scholarship or research, is not an infringement of copyright or not the violation of copyright. Here we use 1 second. Okay, let me upload one more PPT. 1 second. Copyright Act 1957. Next topic is the Copyright Act of 1957. So I'm uploading PPT of that. Guys, we will continue with the class tomorrow. I have to go somewhere urgent. Actually, I have to drop my neighbor to hospital. Actually, that old lady is having some serious health issues. Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience.